You have the ability to influence the world in many ways, ways that could be great and ways that could be ugly.
The Blackout Challenge. The social media trend commonly referred to as the Blackout Challenge is something that should have never caught on. This so-called challenge or dare prompted individuals to take part in a choking game where they would deliberately choke themselves or another individual. People would showcase themselves using a variety of tools or techniques to accomplish this. Hands, belts, ropes, even dog leashes, anything they could find to wrap around their necks. This would cause their bodies to receive insufficient amounts of oxygen, known as hypoxemia or hypoxia, as per their intention, so they then may achieve a state of euphoria or essentially a high. TikTok is not at all new to hosting these challenges. There are relatively harmless challenges like dances and the cheese trend.
Look.
And then there are more questionable and harmful challenges like devious licks, which was just theft.
This really isn't that funny. It's property damage, it's vandalism, and it's theft. And I don't want that for any of you. And I assure you, your parents probably won't want to pay for new soap dispensers at your school either.
And the Tide Pod Challenge, which was poisonous. Most participants of this Blackout Challenge saw no immediate or long-lasting effects, while it grievously cost the lives of others. Some sources allege this trend began in 2008. However, the choking game existed many years and decades prior. In 2008, the CDC reported 82 deaths attributed to the choking game and other strangulation activities during the period of 1995 through 2007. Unfortunately, it returned a couple of years ago in 2021, with TikTok facing some lawsuits, along with deaths to this game rising.
A social media app. I never thought in my mind that could ever result to me losing my daughter.
TikTok. Now, as mentioned before, people partaking in choking game states many years back. TikTok and what the app is known as in China, Douyin, originated in 2016 and 2017 outside of mainland China. The app pretty much replaced and took over the widely beloved and similar app, Vine. The company which produced and developed TikTok and Douyin, ByteDance, was founded in 2012 in China. From this, it is pretty safe to say this challenge did not originate on TikTok. However, that does not dismiss the claim that TikTok has been utilized to give this disturbing trend a stage. As of 2021, across all of ByteDance's platforms, there were over 1.9 billion active monthly users. In 2021, TikTok blocked the Blackout Challenge from their in-app search, meaning if someone were to search that term within the app, no results would pop up. There would even be a warning presenting the dangers of some of these challenges and providing a link to resources. This does help a great deal. However, this alone only prevents it from being searched. TikTok is an app where videos are shown to you at random or based off of algorithms linked to what you follow, like, interact with, or watch for a long time. The random lottery nature of this app not only encourages app usage and pretty much social media addiction, but it also makes it that much harder to prevent this type of content from being shown. TikTok has been under fire in regards to the challenge. On January 21st, 2021, Antonella Sicomero of Palermo, Italy, was lost to the Blackout Challenge. TikTok was forced to verify the ages of its users again by the orders of Italy's GPDP. They are responsible for overseeing data protection legislation within the country, and they have investigative powers to obtain access to information. This includes personal data from the data controller and the power to carry out on-premise audits and inspections. Thus, from February 9th, 2021, all TikTok users in Italy were required to re-verify their age, and only those aged 13 and older were allowed access to the app. Accounts indicating users were younger than 13 were deleted. However, the way of verifying the age is merely asking for the date of birth of its users, which hardly changes anything in the grand scheme of things. If they lied the first time, they're likely to lie again. There is no real way to verify age besides some sort of government-issued identification, but that would pose a problem with privacy and security. Nonetheless, user inputted age verification would help more than not. Alongside this, they added an option to the report feature to give users the ability to flag accounts that were suspected to be under the age of 13. Additionally, they launched an informational campaign in hopes of educating children and parents about the dangers and risks of social media in general, so they may better supervise their children to prevent anyone from being harmed. As a result of all this happening, TikTok faced a lawsuit, or rather a couple of known lawsuits. Parents sued TikTok as they believed TikTok to be responsible for the deaths of all these children and should be held accountable for essentially promoting the Blackout Challenge.
We don't want no other children out there to be the statistics of this situation again.
On December 7th, 2021, Tawana Anderson was at home with her daughter, Nyla Anderson. Tawana was downstairs in the living room for some time before she went upstairs and entered her own room. She then found Nyla in her closet, hanging from the strap of a purse, unconscious. She quickly attempted to administer CPR while emergency services made their way to their home. Upon arrival at the hospital, Nyla was taken to the ICU, presenting visible deep marks on her neck, where she was then given treatment before she eventually passed after 5 hard and long days on December 12th. 5 months later, on May 12, 2022, Tawana Anderson filed a lawsuit against TikTok and ByteDance. She does not blame TikTok for publishing the content, but rather makes claims against TikTok suggesting they are programming children for the sake of corporate profits and promoting addiction, that their algorithm determined that the deadly Blackout Challenge was well-tailored and likely to be of interest to Nyla Anderson, and she died as a result, and that TikTok overall was negligent in their conduct. Tawana demanded a trial by jury.
I want to hold this company accountable. It's time that these dangerous challenges come to an end, that other families don't experience the heartbreak we live every day.
Unfortunately, for the family and others on board with the lawsuit, the judge dismissed the suit, ruling that TikTok is protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This provides immunity to online platforms from civil liability based on third-party content and for the removal of content in certain circumstances. It was enacted to nurture technological advances such as the internet and to also incentivize online platforms to remove content harmful to children. The Blue Whale Challenge. There are certain challenges that target and reach certain demographics, such as teenagers who are isolated and depressed. To not get too off topic, I'll just discuss this briefly. There is another challenge known as the Blue Whale Challenge. It is a malicious, horrible game, using the term game extremely lightly, where the curator or game admin enlists challenges for these victims to partake in. There is a list of 50 violent and sadistic challenges where the game admin controls the victim to do things from watching horror movies all day to inflicting harm on themselves, and eventually ending their own lives. Back to the Blackout Challenge. Another lawsuit was filed against TikTok shortly after by 2 other families. On July 15th, 2021, Leilani Walton just got back from a road trip with her stepmother, Rashika Watson. Rashika asked Leilani to clean her room while she napped and told her they would go swimming after. After napping for about an hour, Rashika went out to check on Leilani when she found her bedroom door shut. She then walked in and found Leilani hanging from her bed with a rope around her neck, still warm to the touch. After she was cut down, Rashika called 911. However, when they arrived on the scene, she was determined to have died from self-asphyxiation.
There's something inherently defective about an algorithm that directs children to videos encouraging them to hang themselves.
Adiani Oroyo had been asking her parents, Crystal and Heriberto, for a puppy for months. To show her that she'll get one, they purchased a dog leash to help her get excited and prove that they mean it. On February 26, 2021, Crystal was at church while her husband Heriberto was at home working in the basement. Their son and Adiani were playing with that dog leash. Her brother knew something went wrong and ran to alert their father that Adiani was tangled and hanging from the door. Their father rushed there and witnessing for himself that his daughter was unconscious, he immediately called 911. Adiani had been estimated to be hanging for around 30 minutes and was placed on life support before being declared to have irreversible brain damage with complete loss of brain function. Adiani's family made the difficult decision to take her off life support. These two families then filed a lawsuit together, along with an organization known as Social Media Victims Law Center. The following year, on June 30th, 2022, they made claims similar to Nyla Anderson's family and requested a trial by jury as well. As of now, the lawsuit involving the deaths of Leilani Walton and Adiani Oroyo has no public update. The court stated that if TikTok were to be held liable, U.S. Congress would have to pass suitable laws and regulations.
Adi, she had this personality that wasn't afraid to take on the world. She wasn't afraid to take on a challenge. She wasn't afraid to do whatever she felt she wanted to do.
Yeah, she loved to sing in her room, and I mean, you can hear her sing out of her lungs, just singing Alicia Keys' This Girl's on Fire.
That was her song.
It was, I mean, over and over, it would be, you could hear her singing her lungs out.
She was just so beautiful, too beautiful sometimes. I think we live in such an ugly world that she's too beautiful.
Why? Now, why would people, primarily children and teens, even do such a dangerous challenge? Numerous studies have shown that there is a spike in risk-taking in adolescents. As their bodies and minds are still growing and developing, this is linked to immaturity of the frontal lobes. The prefrontal cortex is also commonly linked to self-control and decision-making, which is undergoing extreme development during adolescence as well. They're seeking fun and more easily influenced by the actions of their peers. Many are afraid of missing out or looking lame. We as people already have an innate desire to fit in, and with that age group in particular, so many other things are occurring and acceptance is even more vital.
If you see something online and you see people framing it as fun or a challenge or something interesting, you're sort of gamifying the particular thing and decreasing people's perception of the risks.
Adolescents are also susceptible to the personal fable, which is defined as the belief that our feelings and ideas are special and we are invulnerable and invincible. Likewise, this idea encompasses the belief that no harm or consequence would occur when we engage in risky behavior. On the other hand, some children are just curious, or some may not realize the dangers to even know that it is dangerous. This is such a strange and specific trend that one might not even think to teach their children about it if they have never heard of it themselves. Most of the cases where these adolescents were injured or died, they were alone, and the parents claimed to have never heard of this choking game until it was too late. Antonella Sicomero was a young girl mentioned before who had an influence on TikTok's regulations ordered by Italy's government. She was declared brain dead by the hospital. The cause was asphyxiation by belt strangulation, which led to her cardiac arrest. The parents reportedly thought she just used the app to partake in dances and watch videos, which is what TikTok is most known for. This little girl's sister informed her parents she was playing this choking game. As we already know, this was influenced by the Blackout challenge the 10-year-old saw on TikTok. Although her family and friends have lost a loved one, her parents give the hospital the okay to donate her organs to help someone else in need. Sadly, while I was writing the script, there was another very recent death, reportedly on January 13th, 2023. Milagros Soto fell victim to this trend. According to her aunt, Milagros experienced bullying in school and received a link on WhatsApp. The link led to a video on TikTok featuring the trend. She also reportedly attempted the challenge twice and died on the third attempt. Police are currently investigating this incident. Preventative measures. It's generally safe to hold your breath for a couple of minutes. However, going a longer time without inhaling oxygen and without expelling carbon dioxide will decrease oxygen flow to the brain, causing fainting, seizures, and brain damage. In the heart, A lack of oxygen can cause abnormalities of rhythm and affect the pumping action of the heart. It can damage your kidneys and liver as well. There are a few warning signs that may help detect if someone is partaking in the Blackout Challenge, such as bloodshot eyes, marks on their neck, severe headaches, disoriented after being alone, sudden appearances or requests for rope-like objects like leashes, scarves, cables, etc. Talking about the challenge or similar names to the challenge, such as the Pass Out Game or Space Monkey, or even suddenly showing interest or excitement in knowing how to pass out or get high.
I think so much of this is talking to kids, especially young kids, about the transition from the virtual world to reality.
But with social media becoming more and more integrated in our daily lives, it's important to teach each other, and especially kids, of the dangers and how to be safe online. It does have its positives with entertainment, information, and keeping in touch with loved ones, but it also has some downsides and things to be wary of. I will provide some links in the description of this video to resources.
Don't care about what other people say about you. Be confident and be comfortable, because everyone in this world is beautiful. So,
Undoubtedly, TikTok and many other social media platforms utilize algorithms which are tailored to what a user seems interested in or what other users on the site have shown interest in. For instance, going back to devious licks, it was a trend that caught on among many users. If those users seemed interested in it, that trend gets pushed to more users and so on. Content has to be shown to you in the first place so the algorithm can understand what you like to bring you more of that, so you'll continue to keep coming back. It's what brings them money and gets them advertisers on their platforms. Some of this content is not necessarily child-friendly or even really appropriate for 13-year-olds to watch, which is the minimum age. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm really curious to know if any of you have heard of the Blackout Challenge prior to this. I'd love to know your thoughts on the Blackout Challenge, TikTok, and the video altogether. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and keep it real.